Paul Derry, one of the judges implicated in Anas's judicial bribery expose, has filed a writ at the Accra High Court seeking conviction and punishment for the station manager of UTV and manager of the Accra International Conference Centre for contempt. Lawyers for the learned judge say despite injunctions filed on 16th and 22nd December seeking to stop the public screening of recordings by Tiger Eye, the Accra International Conference Centre still went ahead to allow its premises to be used for the public screening, while UTV also went ahead to broadcast contents of the audio-visual recording on its TV. So what are the implications of this fresh suit? Would anything new come out of this one? This is today's big story with me, Stephen Enti. The public viewing of Anas's expose into a bribery scandal within the judicial service enters its second day today, despite various attempts by some of the indicted judges to stop the public viewing, including an injunction to restrict the Accra International Conference Centre from allowing its premises to be used. The screening took place anyway. However, Justice Paul Derry, one of the judges indicted in expose, is unhappy after what he describes as obvious disregard to the court, amounting to nothing more than contempt of court. And he's asking that the respondents ought to be convicted and punished. Let's do some legal discussion on the matter now. Professor Michael Quay is former Deputy Speaker of Parliament. He's joining us on the telephone line now, right? So we're trying to raise Michael Quay on the telephone lines, and we'll be doing this discussion shortly. But our reporter Matilda Pemega is also there at the Accra International Conference Centre, where the second day of screening started at 4 p.m. Earlier today. So we'll be going to her too, and she'll be talking to us about whether the patronage was is as high as it was for yesterday. And when we get to Professor Michael Quay, we'll brainstorm on the legal implications of this fresh suit. We'll be back shortly. Can I go and get Right, we have Professor Michael Quay on the telephone lines now. Good evening, sir, and we're grateful that you could join us. Good evening, sir. Professor Quay.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, so I know that you have said, I mean, that's your personal view, that the judges indicted in this expose should actually apologize to the public rather than fighting the processes. I'm sure you know that a fresh writ has been issued by Justice Derry seeking to punish Accra International Conference Centre manager and UTV manager for what he says is contempt. Do you think that this is necessary, considering that we are entering the second day of public screening anyway?
I don't think it's necessary at all. And it is most unfortunate that this approach is adopted. What is a person seeking to testify? Hello?
Yes, I'm here, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Yes, oh, good. What is a person seeking to testify? What is the person seeking to keep away from the public? What is in the national interest? At the end of it, does this seek to promote transparency, good governance, and the proper functioning of the judiciary? Which is the best option for the promotion of good governance and development in our country? Is corruption the approved pathway? Look, a court should ask itself certain basic questions. Does this one seek to promote the efficiency and effectiveness of the judiciary. Because, as the Chief Justice himself was saying, not long ago, just a week and something, some days ago, at the Kumasi Bar Conference, no, a judge, one basic rule of your job is that you should not discuss a case before you with any outsider about the general laws on corruption and bribery, which is punishable by the laws of Ghana. Those are bad. The judges have this to waste our time, because this was applied in the same way, by way of how the evidence was brought by Anas. It was done in the same way in America. The man is an international man, and that way of getting the evidence was upheld in the American courts. People were jailed. All the judges involved found guilty were jailed 10, 15 years, 20 years, and so on. And their names struck out of the role of lawyers as well. So it's not like people are praying. If people are desperate, you know, when a person shows remorse, sometimes the law allows that. That doesn't mean that you go free. But the person will punish, but punished less. When a person shows intransigent, is a very important word in the law. The court will deal with you as an intransigent offender.
Justice Derry, for example, is making copious reference to Article 1468 of the Constitution. I mean, if he is being accused wrongly, then he has a right to fair hearing, isn't it? So there are those who say that the processes that he has been pursuing is just a matter of law, really.
You realize that one thing about public-related cases is that the basic allegations are known to the public. You know that?
Yeah.
Any global scandal that's relating them are known. Otherwise, nobody will ever be able to try any famous case. No matter the issue, when a case is a popular one, a big issue, people will comment. And that comment is allowed in law. Because you see, we are in a transparent world. And we want transparency. And you cannot prevent transparency. But now, when you go to court, whether those facts, which are notoriously known to the public, constitute a crime, and what should be done or not, will be the matter for the judge.
But Justice Derry's argument, Prof. Justice Derry's argument has been the fact that from the time the petition was made to the President through the Chief Justice about these misconducts, it was appropriate for whoever was making the allegation to wait for the case to be determined before going out on social media, for example, to start serializing the case. Justice Derry and his lawyers argue that going ahead to do this makes it unfair to their clients.
It has never happened anywhere. It does not happen anywhere. Look at the recent case in the Supreme Court. The matters that were put to the court were serialized, were discussed, were allegations that were brought out to the public. Because those are supposed to be the facts. But whether those things constitute what the claimant is saying is for the court to determine. How do you see the difference?
Yes.
But nobody can judge the public. Nobody can judge facts. Because mere facts don't make a crime. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
And some people were saying that, look, the giver and the taker of a bride are both guilty. They started from that angle, and I said, that is no law. It can be law where the giver and the taker are both surprised by a third party as an investigator, and then he goes to grab over them. Because at that moment, the giver is interested in getting free, and the taker is interested in getting money. So you find that there can be that kind of situation. The giver and taker can be free, can be guilty. But you see that there are cases where the giver is not out there to actually gain from corruption. He is out there to detect.
Right.
And that is why in law we talk about the actus reus and the mens rea. That is the forbidden act and the guilty mind.
Yeah.
You may do the forbidden act by sending the money to the judge, but your mind is not guilty because you went there to investigate. And the facts show that really you went there to investigate. So you see that a mere publication of facts doesn't make a person guilty. It is the circumstances that come from the trial, the situation on the whole in its totality, that will make you guilty or not guilty. But as for facts, in this day and age, nobody can stop facts of a matter going round. So
right.
if you defense, come and tell us why you took what you took. Or you can wait the appropriate time and then you tell the whole world why you took what you took. Maybe you wanted to also cooperate with the man in the investigation. Fine, come and tell us that. But to say that, yes, what you are saying is correct. Yes, I took, but you can't publish it. Anybody who says that is lying. And you find that in your own regulations as journalists, which you copy from the Evidence Act, normally you will not be allowed to collect the information in a certain way. But in the supreme interest of the world, the public, you are allowed to do so. So all those things are details that will be determined in court.
By the court, right, Prof? Yes, sir, go on, sir.
The mere fact that we are talking that there is a film. This is the film. Nobody can stop it.
Right. So let's look at the writ. Really, the writ makes reference to the fact that the defendants, the first and second defendants, were fully aware and duly served on the 16th of September and 22nd of September various injunctions, an injunction and an interlocutory injunction seeking to restrict the public screening. Now, Justice Derry's lawyers are citing this to suggest that UTV, the management of UTV, which went ahead around 10 p.m. to broadcast parts of the audio-visual, is in contempt of court. And the management of Accra International Conference Center, which also allowed its premises to be used for that purpose, is in contempt of court. So where is this case heading, really?
Oh, the case can only head towards the truth. So let people get ready to come and tell us what is the truth and what is the explanation that they have. That is what will be the public interest. The overriding factor, as was in India, as was in America, in the famous Chicago Grey Law case, and all those other matters, and the law used so that the supreme interest of the public will reign. So they should come and continue with it.
Right, Professor Michael Quay, we're grateful for your time on today's big story. Professor Michael Quay is former Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and if you've just joined us, we're discussing the writ filed by lawyers representing Justice Derry, who are seeking conviction and punishment for the station manager of UTV and the manager of Accra International Conference Center. I mean, I have a long writ, which is about a 15 or 17 point rate. Among others, Justice Derry is raising concerns with the fact that on the 16th of September, for example, I read, and I quote, "I caused a writ of summons to be issued from the registry of this honorable court titled His Lordship Justice Paul Derry versus the Director of Estates and General Services Bureau, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Chief Director, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Manager, Accra International Conference Center, prohibiting the defendants therein from prejudicing my case by making their Accra International Conference Center facility available to Tiger IPI and its media partners. It also goes on to say that on the 22nd September, there was another interlocutory injunction which sought to restrain the Accra International Conference Center and its media partners from screening this alleged audio-visual recording. So Justice Derry is actually asking the court to punish these two for contempt of court, and you heard Professor Michael Quay speaking to that. Let's get onto the telephone lines now. Matilda Wemega is at the second public screening, which is taking place now at the Accra International Conference Center. She's joining us now. Matilda, good evening.
Good evening, Steve.
So is today as packed as it was yesterday?
I don't really think today's the number I'm seeing today is not that much.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at the people who came in yesterday. I'm sure a lot of people have decided to stay at home, looking at the long queues they saw on TV and all that. So I'm sure that is what really didn't move people to come in here today. But the place is already filled. The down floor, the floor is filled. When you come to the second floor, so the place is also filled. But it's not as much as the number we saw yesterday.
Right. So have you been able to, perchance, speak to people and hear them talk about their expectation or something of the sort?
Yes, I spoke with a few people before the show started, but the show is still ongoing. I spoke with one person a while ago, and he was really shocked about the revelations that they are currently seeing on the screen. They are not really shocked that much because they know that today is only the 10 of the judges, and there are more deep-rooted corrupt activities going on within the public sector. So for them, this is just the 10 of the judges. Right. And if I'm not to be further, we would get to know that there are more rots in the system.
Which actually suggests that many people are of the view that this is just normal behavior of Ghanaian society, and that it's just unfortunate that the judges have been caught in this. But you also sat through. Tell us what you have seen so far.
Yes, the little that I have seen in there is quite disheartening for you to know that a judge could take as little as 500 Ghana cedis to free someone. And it's certain things. If you look at what the investigative journalists, the discussion they had with some of the judges, you could tell that some of them, I sorry to say this, but their conscience, I don't know. But if you look at some of these critical cases that some of these judges are handling, and they could just be I don't know, be convinced with some little amount of money and some goats and then some cubers of yam and all that for them to just give in to it. It's quite shocking.
It's quite shocking.
There was a murder case that one of the judges was dealing with, and he was given, I think it was 2,500 Ghana cedis. And this is a murder case we are talking about. Someone who has been convicted. But this judge also went ahead to take 2,500 Ghana cedis to free this person. And if we should be looking at this thing, I think a lot of people are gradually beginning to lose confidence, in our judicial system. I have with me one person who has been inside, been joining us right now to also speak with us to find out what exactly he makes of today's viewing. Okay, Ralph, you have been inside for about 2 hours watching this video. What does this tell you? Are you by any means shocked by the revelations you are seeing?
Right, I think we're having technical challenges.
Everything.